me some Jada.
You love you some Jada.
I love me some Jada.
You don't think she's a destroyer of worlds?
I do not think
she's
is
Galactus of like
a destroyer of worlds. I think.
Yeah, the Galactus of relationships.
No.
Eating people's souls one at a time.
I do not think so. I think.
No? Okay.
I think she is sharing her truth.
She's sharing her truth.
And I think a lot of times people don't want to hear black women's truth.
Oh, not.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Oh, yo.
Let me. You know what? Let me. Before it gets.
I have grown as a person.
Before
I almost let it slip out.
Before it got there. I'm just gonna say this.
Oh my goodness, guys.
Like,
I'm improving.
okay.
I'm improving, man.
Let me. I'm gonna say this. Let me try to like.
Okay.
So, I remember I was driving, and then I was doing something that week, and then I seen the Jada stuff come up, but I didn't like pay attention to it. I didn't want to pay attention to it.
Right.
Okay.
And then you guys posted in our little group chat and stuff.
Right.
And I told you guys, I am tired of this woman. I'm tired of hearing it.
Why are you tired?
Because it just sounds like something was about to be promoted. And Red Table Talk is not going in.
Right.
So I felt like something is promoting. And then obviously you find out the memoir and all that stuff, right?
Which is out,
and then like...
out in stores now?
And then it was like the whole... You had a video of you and Tupac dancing. The parents don't understand.
When her birthday passed.
And all that stuff. And then, you hear about, they allegedly found charged the person that shot Tupac for the murder of Tupac.
KFD.
And all that stuff. And then...
Now, slow down just a little. That case in general, like, they're not just going to get him. They're going to get a lot...
Oh, I know. I'm just going to watch it develop.
Like, they're going to get a lot of people behind that, too.
I'm going to watch it develop, so everybody's probably lowering up right now.
Like, yeah, like...
So... But...
That's a big one.
And then, I hear this whole thing with Will. And, you know what I thought about? Remember the Boondocks and Thugnificent was like, I see this thing and they did all this stuff to him. And I thought to myself, wow. What did this guy do to get niggas that mad? So I'm thinking to him like, what did Will do to make Jada that mad?
Have a side baby?
Continue, I don't know. But to continue to bring this up. Like,
what did she
you told the man, like, just to continue to repeat the so.
This was news.
Hold on, the Oscar thing. So you're telling me Will Smith slapped Chris Rock for no reason?
No.
And slapped the man, and then she said, keep my wife's name, and she said, wife?
Because they were separated since 2016. Yeah.
So, and first off, Will Smith, I don't know what damage Will Smith done. Because there's that part of it that I don't think really anybody discussed or what's being said.
Now pause on that too. It was reminding me a couple of days ago that when he released his book, he kind of said what his faults were.
Yeah.
Okay.
However...
Wow. Okay. Continue.
However, though, I don't see him, like, to be fair.
Not marketing it?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why wouldn't he market his own book?
Like during the press run he was, but it's like, it's not like how Jada was doing it. If I go point for point what's happening, like he'll like mentioning a good woman friend, or mentioning being stuck in a marriage, or mentioning having internal struggles, mentioning just it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking.
On Jada's,
pipes are leaking.
Jada's part?
It's a lot.
You feel?
I'm just trying to
understand. It's a little bit, yeah.
Don't women talk?
What I'm trying to understand. Hey, you said that, not me. But I'm glad that you're the one that said that, not me.
Hey,
but
isn't that what marketing's all about?
But here's
women
my
talk.
thing. Here's another thing. Like,
but some people are saying it's too much.
Is it?
Me personally, I think it's a bit much.
Why?
I feel like.
What about that is too much? What about her vulnerability is too much?
You're saying that now you're like, I'm shocked that, he said, keep my wife's name. Why did you slap Chris Rock? Chris Rock tried to date you before and all that stuff.
Wait, slow that down.
All that stuff.
Right?
Right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm just generalizing.
So she's giving a backstory to the slap.
in the midst of her memoir.
In the yeah.
Okay.
How long was the slap?
That was jeez. Time went
by.
What was
Yo,
that?
that was like that was
21?
20.
And nothing was said until now.
Yeah, a book takes like how long to write? And then to put it and market it and
That
package
man was
it.
a slave in the movie at the end of all this.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'll just say this.
listening. That's not.
I think Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
That's wow.
But
That was
Wow.
probably in the running even before.
But I'm just gonna
that.
say this. And I don't know how I go about this. I don't know how to approach this, right? But the problem with these type of situations, I don't know what Will Smith fully did for Jada to react like this. I don't know if they're both in it for the bag. I'm kind of tired of it. I'll say I'm kind of tired of it.
So, okay, what part are you tired about? Are you tired of the fact that it's a black woman selling her story?
Oh, that was last year.
Are you tired of the fact that she is being honest, open, and transparent about what's going on in her life? Are you tired of the fact that as a woman in her 50s, she is going about things as
You just made me realize she's in her 50s. So she's at the age where it's like the filter is kind of like
off.
is
Yeah.
going away. So you start to say whatever you want to say.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you tired about? What are you really tired about?
You know what it is?
You grew up with her too long?
I think I'm more disappointed at the fact that like that was the role model of black love in a sense.
Well, why would you idolize their
And
relationship?
and I think maybe that's where I go wrong. Of like idolizing these people's relationships, not knowing the discrepancies that is behind. You know what I mean? Maybe that's where I go wrong. Watching these people looking like, oh, they look like, because if you look at it, Will Smith is always putting her in the forefront. Now she's putting him in the forefront in a whole new way.
That's wow. Wow, that's
Even though things has happened, and maybe she feels just for it, maybe he's feel just for it. My question is, another thing is like maybe I can answer the question. Is that what healing looks like?
It's not.
I don't know. Like, is that a part of healing? Is that a part of
Okay, so when
especially when the book's coming up?
Okay, think of it physically, metaphorically, but physically. When you're healing, when your wound is healing, your skin does not look smooth. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't come or appear to be great when your scab is forming before it falls off to have that fresh new skin. It looks ugly. It doesn't look like the rest of your skin. It doesn't complement. It's not, but it's healing. It's regrowing so it can renew something new. So healing is not going to look nice.
so.
If you let it scab,
Yeah.
what if you put like polysporin in a Band-Aid and let it like, heal?
But then you're putting a Band-Aid over it, or you're using, what's it called? You're using artificial things to try and heal, but it's not healing naturally.
Does a book heal? Does a bag heal
Amen.
situations?
Doesn't the Bible heal?
I mean,
the Bible is a whole.
it can.
The Bible.
Book of stories.
Hold on. Wait, yo.
And it heals a lot of people.
Leave. Keep the Bible out of this situation, please. Please keep the Bible out of this situation. But I'll say this. I just feel like, you know what it is? When I see certain things come up, especially in like Hollywood and stuff, and you hear certain situations come up, something now in me goes, what are they promoting? What is like coming out that this is coming up now? Is it sincere? Because yeah, there's certain things that come up and it's like, oh my gosh, it's coming up. But then when something comes up and then, oh yeah, this person did it, buy my book to find out more.
Right. Okay.
It kind of goes hand in hand. It's like
Buy my album.
people love mix up. So, like for example, Joe Budden, the whole Drake thing with Joe Budden. I was waiting for that pod on Wednesday. That man said, "You want to hear what we want to talk about? Buy it." At a time where everybody, let's go to Patreon. Good thing, because he's been giving away stuff for free for the longest time.
Right,
I understand that. But like, I'm broke. Allegedly.
He capitalized it.
And I was like, yeah, you capitalize it. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just, I don't know. I guess that's just what it is when it comes to marketing. I guess that's what it is when it comes to certain things.
So walk with me a second. I've been playing with the theory for a while that I think we covered a little bit of it. Beyonce's album run, Lemonade. I think all those events were manufactured.
Oh, okay.
I don't think any of it was. It was a very. Now that I think about it in a promo way, I'm like, that was a very good promo. I don't like the elevator footage. It was just.
We just don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I don't think that was promo. I don't think that was promo. That elevator is not promo.
Well, her whole album was due to that whole year of.
We don't know. We don't know.
This is true.
I say that it's because like. To obtain the footage and then give it to the media plays it over and over, and then the same year, her album's coming out. It's like, it kind of makes you go, And
then 444 came out.
And then 444 came out the year after. Yes, yeah. So it did help both their album sales, right? I just think of it.
Maybe the cell is just sometimes that cell is becoming imperfect. You know what I mean? That whole imperfect aspect.
Honestly,
sells sometimes.
Tagging along on that. To be very honest, I think that Jada and Will honestly have been the representation and trendsetters of mental health. Awareness, growing, building, healing, and all that good stuff.
The trendsetters.
They've been the trendsetters.
Compared to like in terms of all of Hollywood, they're like.
So how have they healed positively?
How have they healed?
Yeah.
Healing is forever. You can't just heal.
Okay, but what's the positive aspect? Because I wouldn't know. So
they probably healed like different things, like
over the years, right?
Like I know
they
not
can
to
sell it now.
Well, I mean, being transparent about it, right? You're no longer being captive to the fact that you're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Being stuck in a problem and you can't talk to anybody about it is a very hard space to be in. But if you can overcome it, people will sell what they've learned out of overcoming all the time.
What have we learned from the Will and Jada thing yet? Or are we just learning, like, I don't know if they said anything about what they've learned yet.
I learned that black men do cry.
Okay. I mean, the award show, he slapped Chris Rock and then got the award and then was crying. Look, kind of like.
I learned that black men can be vulnerable.
Are they allowed to be vulnerable, though?
Well, it looks like they are.
The tide is changing on that, actually, slowly. It kind of is now. I should say. You can't be whining. I don't think people don't like people that whine, but like a whole like a frustration cry, emotional cry.
Right.
A cry because of a loss. Yeah.
I think things have definitely shifted about black men and being a little softer, being received more, being understood more, not having to always be hard and burly and unemotional.
I guess.
Yeah, the tide is shifting on that.
Which is good. I mean, here's the thing. For me, I guess it's not for me to question anybody's sincerity or what's going on, but sometimes it's just like, sometimes it just feels like it's coming out of nowhere.
You feel like it's coming out of nowhere?
I feel like, and which is fine, because when certain people, they go through their trauma and they're going through certain things, maybe like, you might think it's out of nowhere, but it's coming from wherever part they feel affected of. Sometimes it's the power of music. You hear a song and it reminds you of that one person, and you're like, you know what? I hate you. I still think about what you done and all that stuff. And then now it's for that person to be like, hey, baby, it's not gonna happen again. And but then certain things it's like the stab is just happening again. You know what I mean? And it's just like, when does that stab or that pain stop?
What's the song called? First Cut is the Deepest?
First Cut is deep, but here's my thing. How long, okay. You know what's the funny thing? I wasn't even thinking that version. I was thinking the reggae version.
Oh,
The first cut in the deepest.
Oh.
But here's the thing. How long should Will stay and like be there in the midst
What do you
of
mean?
like,
he said
I'm just asking.
he said
Of
he's
all
not
of it?
divorcing.
Yeah, they don't believe in divorce. So, okay. So I remember we were having that conversation and I was like, they were also an example of like what relationships do look like in the sense of like not all marriages are just marriage. Like they stay married. These people have been separated and living their life as, I guess, co-parents or co-partners,
Right.
and raising their children and doing an effectively great job at doing so. Right? They just have not been partners for each other, but still married because they don't believe in the idea of marriage.
But what they portray as partners.
Yeah.
Like, when they go out to the forefront, it's like Will and Jada. I want to be Will and Jada. Now that whole thing of Will and Jada is a whole different image now.
That
yes.
stopped this week.
That is a
I
whole
think
different image.
That stopped this week.
You're definitely accurate when you say that. However,
People have stopped. They're just like,
Do you still want to be a Will and Jada?
honestly,
Is that the role model of a relationship
Honestly?
nowadays? Is that okay? Or is that an acceptable thing now?
if that were to be the case, and again, under the guise that if I don't believe in divorce and we are able to be great parents for our children and we know how to be good partners and be cooperative with each other, then their situation is great. You've raised money, you've gotten your accolades, you do what you need to do for your livelihood. Nobody's in each other's space to hinder or stop each other. Your children are there and present. You have no problem living with each other. If that seems fine, if that is the circumstances. But if I love you, like, I think even then, so in loving that person, not falling out of love or even having to be in a co-partnership, I don't think a lot of people can even find that space of what they even have in a marriage like that.
You know what I think? I don't know anymore about these people, like Hollywood and all. Like, it's just a weird, sick, sad world. It's a weird place because it's like, I feel like when you get to a point where you can make enough to do whatever you want and do whatever, like, I feel like it just gets to a point where it's like,
the couples don't make it long enough.
I don't know if there's I'm not saying that
distraction.
there should be a dependency on each other, but like, I just don't know.
I mean, they're the longest standing couple I know of. Like in terms of
We
years,
need to stop making these couples our role models. Like, I want to be like this couple. Oh, look at this couple. They look so. You don't know what is going on behind closed doors, as you can tell. You know what type of entanglement.
Honestly, no, I would rather them than
Remy and
the
Pat.
ones who are current.
No, which.
But then who's
The relationships that are current, no, I don't want them. No, thank you, ma'am. I would rather.
No, but here's the thing.
like blue-faced Christian.
Yes.
Can you guys
That's what
find
I'm
like a
saying.
healthy relationship?
When
Like-
is a relationship ever?
I don't know, but I
When
don't
is
think
it
these
healthy?
Hollywood role
That's what I
models are the
said,
best
I don't
one.
know. So
I don't
how
know
are we
what
gonna
these-
ask for something?
I don't think what's being promoted is like the greatest relationships nowadays.
But what? So okay,
I don't know. I don't know.
I think
None of my
even
business.
I hear you. I understand what you're saying. But even in what you're saying, it says that it is something to attain to instead of a progress. It's just we get here and it's healthy and it's great and that's it. Point bang bang. And we're perfect.
So what is
So then
what is it being an obtained to?
What's wrong
Obtained
with that,
to
though?
an
Being
entanglement?
perfect?
Like what are you
Imperfect
being?
or perfect?
Perfect.
Yeah, which like we get it.
Your
We got
relationship is perfect?
there. Boom. Yeah. It's
I don't know if there's a
It's
standard.
peaceful.
anymore,
We're
to
great
be
parents.
honest.
We great levels to each other.
Okay.
Um,
Nothing's wrong with that. But I mean, there's still going to be conflicts. Someone might pass away. Someone might, like there's still things that happen in between that you still have to deal with. Somebody may end up in a whole scammer situation and you got to stand by them. Like, What do you do when you have
Do
to now
you have
fork
to stand
over?
by them?
I don't.
Now when you have to fork over maybe, you know, a nice $4 million, like,
Whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
you know what? And that's the thing. And that's the thing.
right? But
guess-
the relationship's perfect.
No relationship is perfect.
At that until that point, like,
No, there's no. Here's the thing. No relationship is perfect. I'll say that. But like,
Right?
there's this.
So you're gonna
Like,
have ebbs and flows.
I don't think
that's a very
what
bad.
we're
That's a very
seeing as considerably the standard, we should look at as the standard.
Bad.
And I don't.
Right.
Right. So I'm kind of just like I don't know. It's a weird place. I'm gonna just say that.
Getting scammed $4 million. That just.
That's a weird. I'm just saying it's a weird place.
What, Hollywood?
Hollywood, like,
I mean, they're trying just like the rest of us,
which is fair,
you know.
but
They,
like,
they worked hard to get that.
I guess.
They spent all their years navigating and doing what they loved as a passion. That means that they may have dismissed or have to learn all the other parts of life that they never got to do,
I guess.
like relationships.
I guess.
I mean,
I don't know. That's none of. Hey,
I don't know, man. I'm still at the end of the day. I think it's still a lot of like. A lot of chatting. And I think it's a lot. Because
do you think the world should know about the entanglement, or you think it's just being transparent?
that no.
I just think it's being transparent.
That was a mistake. Now no. I think what happened is
One person spilled the
side.
beans.
No, the side was talking way too much.
Then it's like we gotta fix this.
Right.
Because what is bigger damage control
Yeah.
than for somebody else to talk about something that no one was talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Until then, they had not a perfect record, but in the public, they had a
That's
perfect
what
record.
happened.
But Cena kind of was talking too much, and then
That's what really
that kind of made it
When
go.
was the
"Oh,
last-
everything.
This is the thing. The first time I ever heard of the word entanglement,
That was from
it's from them.
Jada. Yeah, she made
First
that
time I
word.
ever heard the word entanglement.
She put that word on the map.
And I mean, I guess it would be very accurate because due to their relationship, it was an
I made a
entanglement.
song after this.
And he made a song out of it. Yes.
Everybody was making money that
It was
day.
a hit
Hashtag
word.
entanglement, I guess.